Hello, my name is Paul Chefalou, and this is a demo video of a game I created using Unity 3D for my Masters in Mobile Gaming class at Full Sail University. So, what we're going to be talking about in this particular game is just the user interface right now. That's all this assignment had to deal with. The Space Patrol game was created in a previous class. And if you'd like to see more details about that, you could find the video of the making of the Space Patrol in YouTube under my name, Paul Chefalou. So we're just going to talk about the user interface. Right now we're in the simulator, and I'm going to run it. I'll show you the new features that were added, and then we'll go in and talk about the code. That's the magic that makes it all work. All right, so let's start up the game. All right, the game is started, and you see there are tumbling asteroids that are coming down. There are two buttons, the play button and the setup button. Now this is a single player game, 2D shooter style type. So what we're going to do is, before we play, we're going to play the game quickly to show you the user interface. And then we're going to go into setup and show you all the features that were added to give more customization to the player on the use of this game. All right, so let's go into play. You'll see it says ready, goes into play, and then you'll see that there are 4 buttons that are off to the right. And you'll see that there's one button off to the left, that's the fire button. And you'll see the asteroids are tumbling towards you. And if you press the fire button, you'll see that the laser fires. Okay, and now I'm going to get out of the way before I explode. And then you'll see that there's, on the right hand side, there are the movement buttons, which allow you to move left, right, down, and up. And you'll see that the other thing that we've added is an additional hazard, which is the alien ship that's coming down that fires back at you. And you'll notice that the laser bolts are bigger than the laser bolts that are used by the player's ship. This is so that the player can distinguish between the different laser bolts. The problem that I had the first time when I did this was when you get overwhelmed with many alien ships. It's hard to distinguish which are your laser bolts and which are the alien ships. So when the aliens fire at you, even though you destroyed the alien, the bolt is still on its way. So you've got to avoid the bolt, even after you've destroyed the alien ship. All right, that's one of the hazards. Now, what I tried to do is that I tried to make the game, there we go. I wasn't paying attention. All right, so as you can see, I took a laser bolt from one of the alien ships. All right. Let me go back into the game, and what I'll do is I'll just position the ship so it's all the way in one direction. So hopefully it's out of the way. So what I tried, I think we're going to have a problem with this asteroid. There we go. So what I tried to do is I tried to make it realistic in this case, the virtual world, and I wanted the game mechanics to make sense. So what happens here is that there are large asteroids, small asteroids, and I'm going to get blown up again. Okay, and then there's the alien ships. Now, the large asteroids are worth 10 points. The small asteroids are worth 30 points, and the alien ships are worth 50 points. Now, the small asteroids travel twice as fast as the large asteroids. So what happens is that if they come in contact with so it's possible that they will pass and try to pass a large asteroid. If a small asteroid tries to pass a large asteroid, it'll hit the asteroid and then explode because the larger asteroid has more mass, and the small asteroid will be destroyed. Now the enemy ships also have the same problem. I mean, they also have to deal with the same situation that the player's ship does with the asteroids. If an alien ship makes contact with an asteroid, the alien ship will be destroyed. So that's to try to make it a little realistic. Now, the alien ship will also be destroying asteroids that are in their way, that it's in its way. Now, what this does is this clears the way for the alien ship, but now it deprives you of an opportunity to gain 10 points for destroying a large asteroid. And I'm going to die again. Okay? So the idea is there is a lot of game mechanics going on. It's not just simply laser, things are coming down at you and all you do is shoot. I tried to make it so there is some sort of challenge and some strategy that's done so that the game, the AI of the game actually participates in defense. So, so the idea is that if you see large asteroids or small asteroids or the alien ships, you want to try to destroy the large asteroids and the small asteroids before the alien ships do. Because if they destroy it, then you don't have the opportunity anymore. Also, the goal of your game here is that you're the hero and you have to save the Earth from the hazards that are coming down towards it. Now, to do this, it is your responsibility to stop these hazards. If any of these hazards get by you, then that means that someone will perish on Earth when the asteroid makes contact with the Earth's atmosphere. So that's why if any hazard gets past you, 20 points gets deducted from your score. So its incentive is to actually try to participate and blow up asteroids and alien ships as much as you can. Okay, so that's pretty much the gameplay, very simply. And so now we're going to go looking at the setup screen. The settings screen takes you to the setup button takes you to the settings screen. Now you'll see that there are 5 buttons. There's the hazards portion of the configuration, the controls portion of the configuration, and the camera. And then there's the done button, which essentially takes you out of this mode and brings you back into the home screen. Okay, so let's go into the hazards. You'll see this is loading hazards at the bottom, so it gives you some indication of what's happening. And this is the hazard screen. Now, you'll notice that you have a choice. In this case, large asteroids is enabled, small asteroids is enabled, and enemy ships are enabled, and this is the default. But you may want to play this so that you don't care about the large asteroids. So clicking the button will eliminate the large asteroids. So now the game will only give you small asteroids and the enemy ship. If you position it so that you remove the small ones, then you'll just get enemy ships will just come down on you. And if you eliminate the enemy ships along with the other 2 asteroids, nothing will come down at you. And typically that's so that you can practice and see how the accelerometer controls work, or to practice with the buttons, so that at least for some reason you want to fly around the ship and freely and not get destroyed. So what we'll do is just for a little bit more of a challenge, we'll enable the enemy ships. Okay, then we'll say done. We'll say done again. We'll go and play. And now what you'll see is that the only hazards that come down on you are the enemy ships. As you can see, here come all the enemy ships. So this actually changes the gameplay and makes it more challenging, because now everything that's coming down is shooting at you. As you can see, it's very difficult for me to move around right now unless I take out something. Okay? So the other interesting thing is that the fact that the laser bolt is so large, not only does it distinguish between my laser bolt and the enemy's laser bolts, the larger laser bolt actually acts like a siren. And when you're moving your ship from left to right to try to avoid the hazards, it's like that large laser bolt is just a beacon that just draws you to it. And you end up being destroyed. So I guess that's an added bonus feature that was came out of this effect. Okay, so now I'm just going to get in the way so that I die, and there we go. So we can get out of the play. All right, so that was the hazards. Now let's look at the controls. So in the controls, you have a choice of touch buttons, which right now is default, or gyro control. You can only have one or the other. So if I pick gyro control, you'll see that the X is taken away from the touch buttons. Okay? Now, because this is a simulator, there's no way for me to show you the device being tilted left, right, forward, or back. So there's not too much I can do to demo this. But what this will do is that the ship will move the same way as it does with the touch buttons. It's just how you get the ship to move that's different. All right, so let's put that back to there. Let's say done, and now let's go to the camera. Now, when you go to the camera, you'll see that there are three options: take a picture, use the picture, or reset the picture. And here is where you'll see the picture. Right now, the default is being used, which is the nebula, which is part of the game. Now, the best I can do with getting the camera to work is showing the camera. One of the things that I read in all the documents and stuff with Unity 3D is that in order to get the camera to work on a device, you have to have the Pro version active license for Unity 3D. Now, even though this is the Pro screen and all the Pro features seem to be here, the camera doesn't work properly. I can't get the camera to work using the Unity 3 commands. It doesn't do anything. Because the license that I'm using now is for educational use only. So even though it allows me the Pro features, I have a feeling that there's some features that have been disabled in the Pro, and it has to do something with the camera, and that's why I can't get the camera to work. So what I did was I managed to find an add-in of a third party that makes add-ins for Unity 3D, and this one happened to have a camera. The problem is that the camera works now, and I can see the camera. But the problem that happens is that once you take the picture, there's supposed to be a callback function that you put your code in, and that's where you get the path of where the file is that has the picture. Well, the callback isn't being called, so the event isn't being fired. And I have a feeling it's the same problem with the type of license that's being used, and it's not the full Pro license. It's a subset of the Pro license because it's the educational use version. So the best I can do is when you take a picture, it shows the camera works, function. It does take a picture. It is doing all the stuff that's there because it seems to go to the camera roll. But as far as anything else, I can't do anything with that picture because the callback function has the name of the path, and I need that information in order to display the picture. So this is the best I can do for now. And but at least now the camera works, and this is what the feature is. So if you say I can't, if I press right now, I won't press take a picture because it's a simulator and I do this. We're going to get an exception that says the camera device is not available. Okay, but if everything was working properly and I took a picture, then you will see the picture here in this area in the center where you see the nebula. Now, if I wanted to use that picture as the background instead of the nebula in my game, then I would go to use here and you'll see it'll put a check mark. It'll put an X in the use picture. So what that does is now when I go to the game, I'll see the picture as the background instead of the nebula. Now, if I want to put the nebula back again, but still not lose the picture, then I'll just press the reset button, and what it does is it loads the nebula back as the default and takes the X mark off of the used picture. Now, the picture is gone. The system will save one picture, and it's the last picture that was taken. So you can always go back to that picture if you want by just checking the box, and you'll get it. All right, so that's the camera. And we'll do is we'll leave, and those are the 3 extra additional features that I added to the user interface to the Space Patrol. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to go talk about the coding that made all this stuff work. Okay.